Welcome to another intense day inside the courtroom, where emotions run high and truth is anything but simple. Today's case dives into the murky waters of a plea bargain involving assault, emotional trauma, and a defendant weighed down by unimaginable loss. As judge and attorneys navigate legal procedures, a single word ignites the room, and what starts as a routine hearing spirals into a tense back-and-forth packed with personal grief, racial undertones, and a heated argument about sobriety, motive, and anger management. The defendant, Miss Diano, is not only battling a misdemeanor charge, she's also carrying the emotional baggage of a murdered son, a deceased fiancé, and a mounting pile of stress. The courtroom becomes more than a place for justice, it's a stage where grief, misunderstanding, and responsibility collide. Stick with us as we break down every turn, every contradiction, and every emotional reveal. Because what happens next, you won't want to miss.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I did, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault bodily injury as a Class A misdemeanor? Range of punishment is anywhere from up to a $4,000 fine and up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, you have to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Oh, you didn't understand that part? Well, so let me explain to you. And then if you don't understand, let me know. I'll help you and your attorney discuss it. So you're entering into a plea bargain agreement with the state. You understand that part? Whatever agreement that you have worked out with the state, I don't have to follow that agreement. So let's hypothetically say they want you to have probation. If I were to tell you, I'm not going to give you probation, I'm sending you to jail, then you can withdraw your plea.
Okay.
Because I have not followed your plea bargain agreement. Now, the conditions for the plea bargain agreement, that's something the court gets to decide. You understand? So if for some reason I don't follow your plea bargain agreement and I try to give you more than what you've bargained for, then you get to withdraw your plea. And it can't be used against you if you decide to go to jury trial. You understand? And by that same token, if I don't follow your plea, then what can end up happening if you withdraw your plea, then the state can say, okay, we're going to have to go to jury trial. We're going to go to jury trial. And maybe they won't be going to jury trial on a Class A misdemeanor. They'll be going to trial on the injury to the elderly. Not maybe, that's what they'd have to do. You understand? All right. Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yeah.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into this plea bargain agreement?
Yes.
All right. Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason you were to violate your conditions of probation, I could revoke you and sentence you up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Ms. Diano, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Here's where things get real for the defendant. The judge is crystal clear. Just because there's a plea deal doesn't mean the court has to follow it. That's a crucial legal point many defendants misunderstand. If the judge decides probation isn't appropriate, Ms. Diano could still be sentenced to jail time, and at that moment, she has the right to back out. But doing so could escalate the case to a jury trial on a more serious charge, injury to an elderly person. This is high-stakes poker with the law. You fold, you may walk. You play, and the stakes could get deadly serious. Eyes, would you take the plea or risk the jury trial?
Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial, and then what will end up happening is the state will present evidence, and then I'll make a decision on whether or not that evidence is sufficient to find you guilty. If I find that the evidence is not sufficient to find you guilty, then I'm going to find you not guilty and say that the state didn't prove its case. However, if there's something else going on between you and this other person, that is not before this court today. That's something else. So what I've just read to you, did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, sir.
State?
That is a plea.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? The state is requesting that you defer adjudication before a term of 6 months. Not guilty or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence. Waiver and stipulations with yours, but most importantly, there. All right. Explain to me what's an in knocked.
It was at this moment that she knew. She fucked up.
That's in that's in the police report. The officer said suspect 1 stated that victim 1 had in knocked on her door.
And they
I
knocked on their door trying to.
No, I'm asking.
she constantly.
Whoa. The mood in the room just flipped. The judge challenges the defendant on her use of the term, knock, a racially charged phrase that instantly escalates the tension. This isn't just about semantics, it's about bias, tone, and how deeply words matter in court. Miss Diano tries to backtrack, but the judge presses her hard, questioning the racial framing and the reasoning behind her words. This moment shifts the case from legal to deeply personal, exposing deeper frustrations and raw emotion. Do you think the judge was right to call this out? Or was this an emotional overreaction?
No. What is an in knock?
Going and knocking on a door and running. That's what.
Why isn't it Caucasian knocking? Why isn't no? Why isn't it Caucasian knocking? Why isn't Asian knocking? Why isn't some other knocking? Why is it called that?
No, that's just the way they say it.
No, that's the way you say it because that's what you said.
That's what they. That's basically. I mean, all right. I don't know what else to tell you.
No, I'm just trying to figure out why.
It's
Why would
not
you
like
call
a
it
race.
that?
It wasn't to be racist. The kids just kept knocking and knocking on my door, constantly doing that to me. They live upstairs. I did not touch this kid, and I really don't even want to sit here and plead to say that I did.
Oh, you can go. We can have a jury trial.
I don't want to do that because he says that's not the best thing to do.
No.
I just lost. Look, I lost a child. My son was 19 years old, was murdered just 2 years ago. I'm under a lot of stress already.
Now we see the emotional undercurrent. Miss Diano reveals the murder of her 19-year-old son and the loss of her fiancé within days of each other. This isn't just a defendant in court, this is a grieving mother trying to stay afloat. But here's the hard truth, while emotional trauma explains behavior, it doesn't excuse criminal conduct. The court still has to assess whether she's a danger to others, if she acted out of anger, and whether those conditions warrant stricter supervision. This moment adds a human layer to the legal framework, and forces us to ask, where's the line between accountability and compassion?
You know, so I'm just trying to get out of this and get it as easy as
Just what?
I'm just stressed out enough.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So do you want a jury trial?
No, I don't. I just want to get this over with, do the probation and whatever I have to do.
All right. So what was the race of?
You asked me that question. If you knew the answer to the question.
What is the race of the complainant?
Hispanic.
Hispanic.
Everyone's Hispanic in the instance.
Mm-hmm. And if I knew the answer, I don't know why you would say that. That's why I'm trying to figure out why you're saying it, because in the police report, they say you were intoxicated. So I'm trying to figure out.
Intoxicated.
That's what it says in the police report. It says suspect stated V had knocked on her door and she came outside to see who knocked. And victim's family came down the stairs yelling at her, accused her of hitting the victim. Suspect kept saying she did not want to tell her side of the story and tried to walk away to go inside. I detained suspect to investigate further. And it says in here that there was signs of drinking.
I don't see a crime in drinking in your own home. I was in my own home.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on because I have to.
This is where things start heating up again. The judge reads the police report out loud, mentioning odor of intoxicants, profanity, and the defendant trying to walk away during questioning. Miss Diano defends herself passionately, There's no crime in drinking in your own home. And she's not wrong. But the issue isn't just drinking, it's whether that behavior contributed to the alleged assault, and whether the stress and alcohol are creating a volatile mix. The judge's questions aren't just legal, they are diagnostic, probing for the root cause of conflict. Speech balloon: do you think anger management and sobriety programs are fair in this case?
Set conditions for you. Is this an anger problem? Because they want you to do.
I'm sorry that you caught me off guard with the question that you asked me. I feel like you're kind of in a setup, I felt kind of set up with that question. I understand it's not a word to be used, and I understand that I used it in the wrong word, in a wrong way, and I apologize for that. So I'm sorry.
There's more in here that you said. You're using profanity. I am trying to figure out, because it says suspect had a strong odor of intoxicants on her. I'm trying to figure out why the state is asking for anger management, because they're requesting that you do anger management. They're requesting that you have a TAP evaluation to see if you have a drug or alcohol problem. They're asking for sober support meetings. Sober support meetings are usually for people who have a drug or alcohol problem. I'm trying to figure out what's going on, because you told me that the lady, Samantha, had, assaulted you or is still causing problems with you. So I'm trying to read the room and figure out what's going on, and I cannot.
I'm leaving this apartment, so I'm already have gone into a new place to live. I'm leaving on Sunday because the lady kicked my dog the other day, and she got up in my face and stuck her finger in my face and started yelling at me. No, I don't have a drinking problem. Yes, I lost my child on February 5th, 2023. He was murdered by a best friend in a gas station in Austin, Texas. And I lost my fiance 11 days before that. He had a heart attack inside my home. I've been under a lot of stress and frustration. These people don't leave me alone from upstairs. It's a constant fight with this lady. So I'm moving myself away from that.
Here's where we see the full mosaic of her struggle: a hostile neighbor, stolen decorations, a lost job, and a ruined home life. Miss Diano is not just defending against an assault charge, she's unraveling under social pressure, grief, and economic collapse. She paints a picture of ongoing harassment and feels like no one is listening. But the system doesn't judge what you've suffered, it judges what you've done. Still, it's hard not to feel for her. Her move to a new place shows initiative, but is it enough? Would you feel safe living next door to her? Or would you see her as a victim of bad circumstance?
Anger management and sober meetings.
Yes, John.
Okay. There's going to be a $500 fine probated, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's going to be 1 year deferred adjudication, 80 hours of community service restitution. I think she needs anger management. I'm going to order anger management. Once she's completed that, then 40 of the hours will be deemed satisfied. And then I'm going to order 60 sober meetings in 60 days. TAP evaluation, that can be out of custody. Follow recommendations. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs.
The sentence is in 1 year deferred adjudication, 80 hours of community service, with half forgiven upon anger management completion. She's also ordered to complete 60 sober meetings in 60 days, submit to random drug tests, and provide proof of employment within 30 days, but not with children or as a caregiver. The court also restricts her from contacting key individuals and hints at further trauma support. It's clear the judge is trying to strike a balance, holding her accountable while offering tools to rebuild. This isn't just a punishment, it's a structured rehab path through chaos. Scales # do you think the court struck the right balance?
There's to be no contact with the following persons: Danny Ibarra, Samantha Coronado, and Brenda Espinoza. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because it's a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Yeah. All right. And Ms. Abrams, see if maybe a referral to Center for Healthcare Services, maybe they can help her with any type of trauma.
What a ride, from a plea deal to emotional confessions, racial undertones, and a final sentence that blends discipline with empathy. Miss Diano's case reminds us that every courtroom battle is layered, legal, personal, and deeply human. She walks out with a second chance, but on a tight leash. Anger management, sober meetings, and trauma support will shape her next chapter. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns. You won't believe what happens next in the cases we have coming.